Hello and welcome to WJTS in.form. I'm your host, Bill Potter. There's an event that goes on in November that is, I think, a terrific way, if you're a runner, to do something different, and that's the Mudslinger, which benefits TriCap. Joining me in the studio is the Executive Director for TriCap, Joyce Fleck. Joyce, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you, Bill.
And also we have with us Susan Reichard, and Susan is the Director of Admissions for TriCap.
Administration.
Administration, I'm sorry. Admission. All right, now, we have you guys have such a unique event, but before we talk about the Mudslinger and recruiting runners and volunteers, why do you have to have a fundraiser for TriCap?
Well, TriCap is a nonprofit organization, and we apply for lots and lots of grants, sometimes federal, state, local, private, but the biggest thing is a lot of these federal grants require a local match, and this is one way local people can give back to get that money here. In a lot of cases, for every $1 of the local donation, we can draw in $3 more of a federal grant.
Wow.
That's substantial. Okay. So your money goes farther than you think.
I know sometimes people think, oh, you know, they're government funded, they don't need money. Well, you really aren't. Even though you receive money from the government, you don't get that unless you get other money.
Exactly.
And we're a private, nonprofit organization, so although we have the federal grants, we're still a private nonprofit. You can receive a tax benefit from your tax-deductible donation to TriCap. So
the community's been very generous throughout the year. This is just one way that people can give back. It's a healthy opportunity too, you know, running, walking, but there's so many ways to give besides just money. We do have a lot of just volunteers throughout the year for sharing their talents with us, which helps too.
Is this your own? This is not your only fundraiser.
Oh no,
okay.
But this is one of our larger ones.
Yes,
and it's a unique one. But we're going to get to that in a minute. But first of all, we still want to know a little bit more about TriCap.
Okay.
You know, and we've talked a lot of times. It's hard to talk about TriCap because you do so much.
Right.
I mean, we don't have an hour and a half to go through all the different things that you do, and we've talked about many different things. As we move into the fall, what are some things that people need to be aware of that TriCap does and you do need funds for? Well,
as we mentioned on the radio program earlier, it is important as the weather cools down, and people don't always think ahead, but winter's coming. You know, it's been great weather, but winter is coming, and they need help with their utility assistance or weatherization, which is the long-term solution to reducing your utility usage, energy usage. And you can apply through TriCap, and well, there's different income guidelines, okay? But I tell people to apply even if you think you don't qualify, because that's what this money fundraising is about. Sometimes we can help people who are over income if they have fallen on hard times or something like that. If we have enough money to do that, we will help someone if we can. Some people know they're over income, but they just want to reduce their utility assistance bill. They can negotiate a fee and have the same service done and pay for it if they want to. So that's important. Foreclosure prevention, we mentioned that earlier. We've saved over 200 houses in 3 years from foreclosure for people with much higher incomes but that have lost their jobs. The Head Start program is the preschool program, ages 3, 4, and 5, and you know, we've just received another local grant. We've expanded our services to 10 additional children, but again, the waiting list is so long here that we'll never be able to serve everybody that has a need. So we just keep trying to do fundraisers to expand this a little bit and to help us raise more money to get more federal grants here. But that's not nearly all we do.
Right, because you know, I'm looking through here.
So many services.
It's such a variety of things that you do too, because you also do lead-based paint removal.
Lead-based paint removal, lead-based paint assessment. When we go in the homes just to do weatherization, for example, we're not just looking for how to make the house more energy efficient. We're looking for radon gas, carbon dioxide, you know, emissions and things, or carbon monoxide emissions. Not going in your garage, not weatherizing your garage. But so we're looking for things to make the house safer and things like that. There's a lot more that we do. We look for lead-based paint if the house is an older, you know, 1976 or older home. We do senior housing and workforce housing locally. We do some of that. Lots of things coming down the pike there. Can't go over those right now. And then there are our health services. We have the family planning program. I always mention not the same thing as Planned Parenthood, no abortions or anything like that. But it's a full clinical exam with a nurse practitioner. So this is not just a fly-by-night operation at all. I mean, we have an actual doctor, medical director that reviews the charts and things like that. It's a very safe, effective way to help folks that are trying to, you know, I mean, plan their families, plan their life, and we can do, we can help with STD testing, AIDS testing, things like that. We are involved with the Susan G. Komen program. This is one of the largest, TRICAP is one of the largest grantees for the race that just happened here recently down in Evansville, the Race for the Cure. So if you supported that, you've also supported TRICAP in some small roundabout way. Then we have the Healthy Families program. It's a parenting education resource and referral program for new moms and dads with children ages 0 to 3. And it's a home-based program, so we're going into the child's environment to see how we can best help support the moms. Usually it's the moms, but the dads too, in that service. And we make lots of referrals, not just within all of our services, but within the community as well. So TRICAP is like the place where people come for, they think they have one issue, but we sit them down and we go through everything and see how we can help them.
So now you can tell by all the things that Joyce has said that there is a big need for TRICAP, and there's a lot of work that they do, but it takes money to do these things. So you're doing a fundraiser.
Doing a fundraiser.
Now, what I think is really neat is you have the Mudslinger Trail Run. And there are a lot of half marathons and 5K run walks that go on throughout the community for good purposes and for good fun. But the Mudslinger is different because I think, first of all, if you're a runner, this has got to be great because it's a little more extreme. You're running in a what could be a cold time of year.
Oh, yes.
And you're running through the woods.
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about what is the Mudslinger Trail Run.
Yes, yes. We have, as you mentioned, the 13.1 mile half marathon, and from what I understand from runners, obviously I'm not a runner, but from what I understand from runners, you need to really prepare for something like that length of a run, particularly in trails where you're going to run into mud, water, streams, roots,
Yeah.
uneven ground, hills,
Right.
you name it, you're going to see it there in the Ferdinand State Forest again. So we have that run, as well as there's a 6K for us that maybe aren't the more experienced runners
it, yeah.
or want to walk it. You'll still start at all of the race starts. Both races start out on the road, kind of, and then progress into the trails later. So the 6K is a little less strenuous, but you still get the hills, the trees, the mud, stream or two, and still have that same experience, but not as strenuous.
You will go through a stream. You cannot finish without going through the stream.
Well, okay, and I think I know which stream.
Yeah.
Right close to Foxy Hollow someplace. Because the Ferdinand State Forest has a great set of trails. And there's a lot of people that go out there and run and bike and walk. And that is just such a neat idea to do it out there. So this is going to be held what day?
November 9th, sorry.
November 9th. See, and here we're talking not quite winter, but it's the end of fall, so it could be chilly. Yeah, that'd be
Now, and I always say we did not choose this because of that, but I always say it's mudslinging season right around, politics.
Oh, yeah, okay, right.
But we didn't choose it for that reason, but we truly wanted to. We hooked up with Philip Wolf, who has a Wolf Pack. They have a running group with several gentlemen on there who always help, and we're obviously not runners. We could not pull this off without them. They're a great group of guys, and if you don't mind, I'd like to just mention Ben Gessner, Kurt Traylor, Josh Dodd, Joe Janaski, I always want to say his name wrong, Brendan Perkins, and they really do, they map out the course, they set it all up, they understand running and how all these races work, and last year was our first year, and they did a terrific job, and
you were
they're
pretty
doing it again.
successful last year.
I think
You
so.
had a lot of runners.
Absolutely were.
Close to
We
200.
had close to 200 runners,
First
which was
event.
amazing. We had no idea we would get that many in a first year, and
Right.
so we're excited for this year.
And this is a week later than last year.
Okay.
It
So
is. It
It might be
is.
a little colder, but it had something to do with other races in the area.
But the fun part is we do have for all participants that are there, we have chili soup and hot dogs this year. And hot chocolate and coffee we have, as well as water and Gatorade and those things. So we do have food. That's because you're going to be hungry after running
Yeah.
13.1 miles, I imagine.
We'll have some
Or
fruit.
even not.
Some fruit and things too along the, yeah.
And if you want to bring your family, and they can purchase a meal too at the event and spend the day. So
Okay, when does this start on November 9th at the Ferdinand State Forest? What
10
time is it?
a.m.
10 a.m. Okay,
Eastern
so
Standard Time.
so they should be there probably about 9 to start registering, 9:30.
9:30. Yes, we recommend at least a half an hour before the race.
And obviously,
starts.
you'd like to get people registered ahead of time. That always makes it easier, so you know your numbers. However, people could, if they didn't know until right before, just show up and run.
Right, they
as well.
can.
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely.
Now, how does somebody pre-register?
If you want to pre-register, there's a number of ways, but you can come into our office, 607 3rd Avenue, and pick up a registration form. You can connect on our website, which is www.try-cap.net. Okay. And there's a link there that goes to the actual running website, and it has a much longer description. I won't read here, it's a little harder. But you can also pay by credit card right on that site to register if you would like. And every participant that registers receives, this year it's going to be a technical running shirt, a quarter zip technical running shirt, and long sleeved.
Okay.
And we do have youth sizes this year. We learned last year we didn't have youth sizes. We learned we had quite a.
This is for everybody, whether you do the 6K or the 13.
The shirts are, yes.
Yes, the shirts are either one. And then if you are a half marathon finisher, in addition, you will receive a runner's sock hat. I'm going to get the name wrong because I'm not a runner, but it's a running hat. So,
and they will know what that is.
Yes.
I'm sure.
And they probably also could go and Google if they needed to, Mudslinger Trail Run, and that might take it to where they need to go. And I'm sure that those who are serious runners or run on a regular basis, there are those usual avenues by which they can find out about the event as well.
Right,
Okay.
right.
Now, I think last year people could, if they wanted to, walk the half marathon, but this year you're not going to allow that because that takes a long time.
Yes,
Okay.
you could be on that trail for a very long time. 13
Yes.
miles of walking is a long
About
time
5,
to
6
walk.
hours.
Yes.
Now you can walk and run. I mean, you know,
Oh, okay, I
run
see.
for Johnson walks, but
Yeah.
Well, but you still you can walk the 6K.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That is fine.
Absolutely.
Okay. And there's probably, do you have more people walking the 6K than you do running the 6K?
No, really, most of them ran.
Really?
it's about half and half.
I walked. I brought up the rear.
Yeah, I would be that person too. Yeah, no problem. Okay.
And of the registrants last year, about 1/3 did the half marathon, and the rest did the 6K, the 3.75 miles. So,
Is the trail listed on the website as well? Do you know, so that people can kind of see where they're running if they want to go and I thought I remember last year seeing the trail.
It is.
Is it
I
the same
believe
trail as
it
last
is
year?
the same trail.
Okay.
So that helps if you were there before, because, yeah, it's
Okay, yeah, it's got to know the right turns and things to make. And this is at
And
the
it's
Furnace-
marked.
Okay, and this Furnace State Forest, where does it happen in the forest? Is it right at the bottom of the entrance, or is it
you drive all the way to as far as you can when you drive into
past the dam? Okay, or down to the what used to be
yeah,
years ago,
there's
the
a
youth
couple
camp area.
shelter
Yes.
houses
Yeah, okay.
there.
Yes.
Mhm.
So it'd be pretty obvious where you're going. Plenty of parking.
Plenty of
around
parking.
that area.
Plenty of parking.
And then that's where it starts.
That
And you
is
start
right.
running and or walking if that's what you choose to do.
And it ends at the same location.
Right.
The way the
Okay.
routes are routed. So,
And there are picnic tables and shelter houses for family members who aren't running that just want to cheer you on as you take off and return.
Now, we're still kind of early, that obviously you don't have a whole lot of registrations yet. People start registering now. But you may need some volunteers, and if somebody would like to volunteer, what do they do? And what would they be doing?
they can call our office, 482-2233, and we need volunteers for lots of things, like helping with the food, dishing out and helping keep
Water
that managed.
stations,
The
free.
water stations along the trail, we need volunteers for that, and kind of just runners too, that not physically running, but that help in between the stations and see what's needed and go get water,
Directing
water,
traffic coming in.
Okay.
Yeah.
and directing traffic, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so if somebody wants to do that, just contact you. And you do need volunteers. And
Absolutely,
enough
we'd welcome
volunteers
you.
always is nice to have.
Picking up trash, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when it's
yeah.
all over. Okay. Anything that you ladies would like to add?
Well, I hope that our runners return. Most of them had a good time last year.
hope so.
Philip said this year he has a new digital running clock at the end, so that'll be nice. Everybody can see their time a little faster when they go across the finish line. What else? Let's see.
Sponsors. I'd like
yeah,
to,
please.
to give
Mention your
a
sponsors.
shout out, I guess, to our sponsors, WBDC being
Thank you.
one of those. And Jasper Engines is a silver sponsor. And then we had several bronze and splat sponsors. And it's not too late. We'll welcome more. ASP Advertising, Best Chairs, Bob Leaguer's Motors, Du Bois County REC, Du Bois County Tire and Supply, Ekmundy and Associates, Flanagan Dental, Gregory A. Berger, dentist, my dentist, Inwood Office Furniture, and a couple sheets here. I got a couple more.
You didn't miss anybody.
Yeah, I don't want to miss anybody. Universal Designs, Wabash Valley Produce, and Wilson Dentistry.
And we want people to get the dirt on poverty.
That's right.
Get
That's
the
what it
dirt
says
on
on
poverty.
their entry form, but it's a nice, I love the logo.
Yeah, it's
the
great.
mud splat with the Mudslinger and TriCap's logo right there at the top. All right, so the Mudslinger is coming up in November. Time now to register, or call somebody who's a runner, tell somebody about it, because this is a little more extreme than your normal half marathon or your normal 5K run, because this is actually a 6K run. And get involved. It's at the Ferdinand State Forest November 9th, and benefits TriCap. Ladies, thank you for being
Thank
with
you.
us.
so
Thank you so
much.
much.
We thank you for watching WJTS in.form. We are local people watching local people.